Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. My name is David Kilber. I'm the Director of Public Safety for Lake County Fire Rescue, and I want to thank you on a Wednesday afternoon to spend the time with us to recognize our newest team members to Lake County Fire Rescue. A couple of things I want to say thanks you to is Sheriff Grinnell and the opportunity to use this beautiful facility. So tonight, I also want to recognize, I just have to ask, I don't know if she is in the audience, but Pam Jones, are you? Okay. Pam is a really big supporter of us, and she represents the Congressman Webster's office and has been instrumental in bringing firefighters into the organization under a grant. So I just want to make sure she wasn't hiding. So with that, I would like to introduce the absolute pinnacle of the Lake County government operations, and that's our county manager, Jennifer Barker. So welcome. And though he will be here later, I also want to acknowledge my boss and previous first responder, Tommy Carpenter, who's the assistant county manager. He will be here. He's an awesome member of the team, does great things for us. So I want to recognize him as well. As we get started tonight, we have a very, very large organization. And we're split into several divisions and make up of single certs and dual certs, and we have those here today, so you'll hear that topic. But I also want to introduce some of the important senior staff and what they do for the organization. So Deputy Chief John Simpson of EMS. So Deputy Chief Quaylar, he's in charge of all the big red trucks that drive around the county. My second-hand man of administration, Deputy Chief Sievert. Our fire marshal, who tries to prevent all of the work that these people in front of us do, and that's Mike Vita. And then the number two in command, our division chief in our Emergency Operations Communications Center, is Joanna Buchanan. And two really significant individuals, and I know I keep saying that, but they're truly instrumental of bringing the people in front of us here today to where we can pin them on the badge. And so we have, as I mentioned, two major silos in the organization and under operations, and that's our EMS single certs, who are absolutely rock stars, and they are in charge of our EMS ambulance transports. And then we also have dual certs on the Fire 633 Florida statute side, who are dual trained as firefighter, EMTs, and paramedics. And so on our fire training side, who is in charge of all of those responsibilities, not only of bringing new hires into the organization, but our ongoing training requirements, that is our Battalion Chief, Jeremy Searcy. And then finally, the last person I'd like to introduce on the team is in charge of all of the new hire onboarding and bringing them up to speed on the requirements of our medical protocol and things like that. He reaches out. He's really been pushed into a recruiter role and HR, and I recognize the great job he does, and that's Battalion Chief Jason White. So a couple of housekeeping things that I want to share with you is tonight is truly their night and your opportunity to see your significant other, your loved one, your friend or family member get sworn in. And so we want to invite you to participate in that. So as we call them up, we are taking good professional photos that'll be available to you later. But I also want to encourage you, if you want to get up and take a photo, you can. But also at the very end of the program, this night is theirs. And so group photos and family photos and things like that, there is no rush to get out of here. So as we welcome our newest members into the family of Lake County Fire Rescue, I want this night to be special because there's only one time you get sworn in to the elite team of Lake County Fire Rescue, and for them, that is tonight. And so I just want to share with you that I represent more than almost now 600 men and women that wear the patch on my left shoulder, and that's Lake County Fire Rescue. And so there's a lot of opportunities in today's job market to go just about anywhere in the state of Florida to provide that service. And we do our best to attract the very best, and those are represented in front of us here today. And so I've had discussions with them of what it means to be part of this elite team, things that will cause them heartache if they don't follow our expectations, because we're truly at the forefront of respect and honor of the community we serve. And so to put that in light, if you haven't thought about it, is, you know, if you're in law enforcement, there's properties that you're going to need a warrant to go onto the property into those houses. You know, I dare say there's even people in the room that don't even let their family members into the sanctity of their bedroom or things like that. But when it comes to fire rescue, when there's an emergency, people are standing at the door waving these men and women through. And with that comes a major responsibility of what we do to provide that covenant of, you know, safety and welfare to the citizens we serve. And so I talk to each one of the people that enter the organization of the expectations to wear the patch and join the team, because I, first and foremost, as the 5 Bugle Director of Lake County Fire Rescue, am truly a public servant. And so they all understand that. And so as time goes on, you know, they're going to understand and mesh into the requirements that this organization has. But I will tell you this, is I really thank them, and I mean that to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, because it seems like today everybody wants to be a social media influencer, and very few people want to work. And so with them, I tell them thank you. And now you're all officially recruiters for Lake County Fire Rescue, because we continue to seek out the professional men and women of the caliber that we hope to join the team. And some of the things that we've done in this organization are attracting people throughout the state. We're truly innovative in some of the things that we do, and we continually to try to strive to do better to provide the best possible service to the citizens of Lake County. And so what I tell everybody is, I am just one member of this team. I am not the Messiah. I don't have all the answers, but I will do my very best with the senior staff to give them the tools and the equipment and the training that they can make a difference out there in the community. And so the other thing that I'll share with you is there will be a lot of interaction with the public that those people will never have the opportunity to thank them and the other people that wear this patch. And so on behalf of those people, the mother of the 16-year-old that you're loading onto the helicopter because they pulled out in front of a semi, the elderly couple that are now saying goodbye because of a failed resuscitation, the infant that you've pulled out of the pool and starting CPR, and everything in between those, I want to thank you for what you're about to embark on. Nobody calls 911 when they're having a good day, and these men and women are going to see humans at their very worst. And with that comes a huge responsibility and possibly even a chip in the porcelain of their soul that they will carry for many years on. And so I tell you as family members and as the men and women that wear this patch, if you see them suffering, I will move heaven and earth as the director of this organization to get them help. If you see one of these individuals or a team member on this department suffering and struggling, let someone know, because I do not want my head in the sand. Suicide is a realistic occurrence in today's fire service, and we have the tools and the resources to make things better. And so with that, I just welcome you to the team. It's a great night, and we're going to have people pin. Hopefully they've bored the hole in their uniform shirt. Don't panic if you can't get it in there. We're going to coach you right through it. But truly, I want to thank you for being here. This is a special night, not only for them, but for the organization, as we are just about to cross over the line of 600 uniformed men and women in the organization. And so a dear friend of mine and also a colleague in the government of Lake County, Jeff Foley, is going to do our invocation. We have 2 individuals in the organization who serve as our chaplain. Neither of those 2 could be here. And I will tell you, the person that's about to come to the stage is truly not afraid to share his faith, and I consider him a brother in Christ. And so he's going to give our invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance. And so with that, if you'd please rise, and I'm going to welcome my friend Jeff Foley to the stage.
Good afternoon. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, today we are gathered to recognize the men and women beginning their service with Lake County Fire Rescue and to celebrate the promotion of a lieutenant. As I look around this room, I'm reminded of the words in Isaiah 6:8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord asking, "Who should I send? Who will go for us?" I said, "Here I am. Send me." Just as Isaiah answered your call, Lord, these first responders have answered a call. They have chosen a profession that demands courage when others hesitate, calm when others panic, and service when people are facing some of life's most difficult moments. We ask, Lord, that you bless each recruit with wisdom in difficult situations, strength during demanding days, and compassion for every person they encounter. Let's also lift up the lieutenant being promoted as well. Lord, please help him lead by example and support those entrusted to his care. We also pray for the families here. Their loved ones are preparing to run towards situations that others run from. Strengthen these families, God, and surround them with your peace. Keep these first responders safe, Lord. Watch over them as they train, respond, and serve. Guide them in every decision, strengthen them in every challenge, and bring them home safely after every shift. We pray these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit. I'm a taller one, though I'm not as tall as Director Kilberry. Good evening. My name is Tony Queller, and I'm the Deputy Chief of Operations. As Director Kilberry had stated, we're pretty much where the rubber meets the ground. Boots meet the ground, whatever you want to call it, the butt's in the seat. Our responsibility as operations is to make sure that we all work together on everything we do, from schedulings to shifts to bad news such as mandatories. But that's just the operations of the department. And I've been here for 28 years, so I've had the opportunity to step in this role for the last 3.5 years. But one thing that I thought about it and really didn't go recognize was Director Kilberry. He's a great leader. He's innovative. He pushes his staff and expects nothing but the best. And that's the kind of leader that you want. And he's helped turn this department around 180 degrees. And I just wanted to at least recognize him for the fantastic job you've done, sir. Okay, so now to the brass taxes. So tonight it's a night of achievement and recognition. But most importantly, it's a night that begins a chapter for the recruits. And we call your family members the recruits because there's a year process that they have to go through, which some organizations call them probation period. We call them probies. You know, it's just a rite of passage, but it's also us giving the ability to say, what is it that we need to improve on, and we give them that year. Now, this group that you see here before us is a group that was selected in two fashions. We chose them, and they chose us. So it's a relationship. It's truly a marriage. They're going to develop phenomenal relationships with the people that they work with. They're going to laugh. They're going to cry. They're going to be miserable about certain things. They're going to complain to each other. They're going to work late nights. Their eyeballs will burn in the morning, I promise you, just because they've been up all night. But that's the profession that they've chosen. But that's also the trust that Lake County has given them. And that's what we're giving them as an organization. You know, another most important thing about this is the moment is also family. Director Kilberry had stated, please pay attention to them. Obviously, we talk about suicide rate, but we talk about fatigue. Some of these members, I promise you, will work a lot of overtime
because they choose to. And that's another thing that we have to watch out for. And I promise you that I can tell you from the operational standpoint, we watch them. We pay attention to them. I've had plenty of conversations with battalion chiefs or division chiefs, and we've said, hey, let's just make sure this person's not burning out because of the amount of either dedication that they have or the work that they do. But as a family, your family, I just wanted to also say thank you for allowing them to work for Lake County. And with that, I definitely applaud you for it. Thank you. So to our graduates, congratulations. You've completed not only a beginning portion of your training, you've already passed the tests, you've met the standard requirements that we all expect of you, but that's something that you should definitely be proud of. So, as our graduation is not necessarily the finish line, it's pretty much the beginning of what we expect. What I mean by that is you'll go through evolutions, you'll go through scenarios, you'll either go through paramedic school or you'll go through the provisional process. Some of you will break off and you'll end up at fire training. So our organization has 2 tracks, and it gives them the opportunity, whether you're an EMT, which means the same as it does a firefighter, which means the same as it does to a paramedic, to the organization, because everybody plays a role. And that's the most important thing that I think that our organization is the most unique at, because we have 2 career tracks. What I mean by that is the operations chief, that man holds me accountable for everything that happens on the streets. And I hold the employees that work underneath my command just as responsible. And I have both firefighters and paramedics that work directly in my command. And they lead both, because it's a matter of leadership. It's what we produce to utilize and protect the people of Lake County. And that's what's most important, because as leaderships, that's the most important thing, but we're all leaders. There's going to be leaders, either silent leaders, and they're going to prove how they work. They're going to show how they function, and I promise you, the way you act and your personality and your reputation will carry a long way, because everybody will be watching. You're going to see the ones that work hard on fires, the ones that never give up on the cardiac arrest or the pediatric cardiac arrest, or are moving at light speed for respiratory calls. Those are the calls that the proof is in the pudding in what you do. So I ask you, don't forget what we learned. EMT school, don't forget. Don't forget what you learned in basic fire standards. Now is when we get a chance to apply it. So with that, I hope you remember that. Then we move on to promotions. Derek has probably, I've known him his entire career here in Lake County. I remember when we first hired him, and I think he worked at Einstein Bagels, and he would always bring in coffee, and I thought to myself, he's trying to bribe us with the coffee that he's bringing in. But he always stood out, other than he's probably about 6'5". He's a big man, but what he always was professional. I've never heard him say a foul word. I've never seen him or heard him belittle anyone, and he's always had a smile on his face. And with that, it just makes me think that's the type of caliber of individual we need as a leader. And with that, I hope you take that and you run with it for the rest of your career, because people will follow you if you continue to act the way that you do. And I think that's important. So I hope tonight is a great night for you, sir, because I've known you long enough, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. So to all of you, wear the badge with pride. Protect the trust that Lake County puts in you, because today you've earned the opportunity to be here, but tomorrow you're going to earn the opportunity to keep it. And with that, I ask that you stay steady, stay humble. Most importantly, never back up without a backer. We know that. And with all of that, congratulations. Have a great evening. Thank you. We're going to turn on a great video for you to see now. Stand by.
When I am called to duty, wherever the call may be, give me the strength to save a life, whatever their age may be.
Help me save a little child before it's too late.
Or to save an elderly one from a tragic or horrific fate.
Enable me to be alert and hear the next call for help.
To quickly and efficiently restart their hearts.
I want to fulfill my calling and give my very best.
To protect and care for my every neighbor and safeguard their property.
I serve with my brothers and sisters as guardians of both day and night.
For I wear a distinctive patch which sets me apart.
Lake County Fire Rescue, I am proud to be a part.
Lake County Fire Rescue, I'm proud to be a part.
Lake County Fire Rescue, I am proud to be a part.
Lake County Fire Rescue, I am proud.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. As Director Kilberry said, my name is John Simpson. I'm proud to serve as the Deputy Chief for EMS in this incredible organization. As we enter the pinning part of the ceremony, I want to kind of talk about that just for a second. And, you know, pinning is a special time in every responder's career. Tonight, for one, it will mark the beginning of a leadership career. For the rest, it will be either a continuation of a career from another agency or the beginning of a career in this agency. But for everyone here, it marks a time when we become part of something bigger than ourselves. And so as I call your name, I'd like you to come to the backdrop and you'll join Director Kilberry and Chief Quaylar there to be pinned. Loved ones, friends, and family, if you are here to pin them, when you hear your loved one's name called, if you will please also join them at the backdrop. The first pinning we'll begin with is our promotion tonight, Lieutenant Paramedic Derek Jankowski. One of the things that you might notice is he's having something pinned on his collar. In the fire service, we use bugles to represent rank. The lieutenant is the first rank in the officer corps, and so he is receiving a bugle on each of his collars. We will now begin recognizing recruit classes 2026-5 and 2026-6. First to be pinned, firefighter paramedic Elijah Bales. Elijah's gritting his teeth, waiting for that pin to hit. I hear her coughing back there. She need a paramedic? Paramedic Matthew Mo Brabham. Firefighter EMT, Jawan Cabrera. He just grimaced like that badge is permanently embedded. EMT, Jason Carroll. Paramedic Donald Don Clark. EMT Yadlis Yadi Cologne. And the award for most crowded pinning picture goes to EMT Carissa Finley. Firefighter EMT Stephen Kaiser. And the award for cutest pinning photo Anybody notice the hand on the hip when Sissy posed? That was pretty awesome. Firefighter EMT Albert Manzini. Firefighter EMT Joseph Joey Marshall. Paramedic Samantha Sam Pond. Firefighter EMT Jonathan Romero. The award for most embarrassing shot goes to paramedic Zach Sitkoff. Firefighter EMT Jahir Lamboy Toro. Firefighter EMT Jamarius Willis. This is only Chief White's 50th pinning ceremony. Got a little confused. Firefighter EMT Zoe Whitty. Firefighter EMT, Logan Ziegler. Don't worry, Logan. If he stabs you, all bleeding stops eventually. So this is going to conclude the pinning portion of this. I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. LT, you'll begin your leadership journey. Some of you will begin doing your field training. Others will move on to the EMS Academy and others on to the fire training. While you'll split up, you'll always be together. I want you to keep in mind what I kept telling you about during orientation, and that is you're going to be part of something bigger than yourselves. Just remember, every single day, you're going to make a difference in someone's life. Don't let the daily grind steal your happiness. And with that, I'll yield the floor to Director Kilberry so he can issue the oath of appointment.
All right, so if our newest members would rise, we're going to do the oath of the position. And when I say state your name, I don't want you to repeat state your name. I actually want you to say your name. So, all right, if you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. All right, let's try again. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, defend, and obey the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida, the laws and ordinances of Lake County, Florida, the rules, regulations, and orders of Lake County Fire Rescue, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position to the very best of my ability, for the greater good and benefit of the public and community I now shall serve. I accept this responsibility freely, that I shall serve unselfishly, with honor and dignity, as a sworn member of the elite team of Lake County Fire Rescue. For you have my word, and this I hereby pledge. So if you'd turn around and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, our newest members of Lake County Fire Rescue. Woo! All right, guys, have a seat if you would. So I had mentioned one VIP that I was looking for just before we got started, and I truly want to acknowledge her. She represents our U.S. Congressman Daniel Webster, and that's Pam Jones. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah. And so, as I mentioned, the night is yours to take as many photos as you want. A lot of times they're group, photos and different families and friends. And, from this point forward, they embark on a journey of truly being a family. And the reason I say that is these individuals are going to be spending a third of their life, 24 hours a day, protecting this community. They're going to miss birthdays. They're going to miss anniversaries. They're going to get mandatory for overtime when you have tickets to Disney World. And so just keep in mind that there are people in this community that are going to desperately need them to be there when somebody needs their help and a unit needs to be staffed. We never close. We never close. And so we are a 24/7 operation, and when they hit retirement, we'll still be never closed. And so with that, I will tell you that as being an EMT or a paramedic or a firefighter, there's been very few technological advancements that has replaced the human firefighter or paramedic. And it's not cheap. And it's the best service that you can offer. And when I tell people this, when I go around and speak and I teach, it's this. I challenge you to call one number, whether private or public, and get a business representative in your home or your location within the next 5 to 8 minutes. And then call that same number, whether it be private or public, and get 20 business representatives from the same agency in the room in the next 15 minutes. Nobody does that other than the U.S. Fire Service. And it's very expensive. And so I'm going to tell you, this November, there is an election that you're going to be taking part of that's truly how we fund services such as this. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm just telling you some difficult decisions will need to be made at governments throughout this state should it pass. And we're going to do our very best. We'll continue on, but it's got a lot of us that have been doing this a long time scratching their heads. I'm in my 41st year of the fire service, and I thought the mortgage meltdown was the worst thing that could come at us. But we've got some challenges ahead. And so we're going to be out there. We're going to be educating. We're going to be telling everybody what we do. They're absolutely ambassadors of Lake County Fire Rescue. They're going to be doing their very best. And I'm going to close with one topic, and that's life insurance. And I know you're probably going to go, why is he talking about life insurance? And that is, there is no better life insurance policy than you can buy, and it usually costs less than $30, and it's called a smoke alarm. And it will save your life, and you may never have another chance to ensure that that policy is in effect, and that's by testing it when you get home tonight. And so with that, I want to thank you for being here. I'm David Kilberry, and I am truly proud of the men and women that sat in front of me and every one of the more than 600 men and women that wear this patch. I know there's a lot of places you could be on a Wednesday night, but this was special, and I'm glad you were here to take part in it. So thank you.